My wife Lynn and I love to give good gifts to our children. Like you, giving it is an expression of love that we have for them. There's something special, rewarding, and even satisfying watching their eyes light up when they have searched under the tree and discover a gift with their name on the tag. Watching the excitement grow as they tear into the wrapping paper and discovering what's inside. Your heart melts when you hear the little squeals of excitement when they look at the gift for the very first time. It does something inside when they look up from the present, run over and wrap their arms around you, squeezing tightly, going, "Thank you, Mommy, thank you, Daddy, I always wanted one of these." Or as our children have matured, "Thanks, Mom, thanks, Dad, I really appreciate this." Or, "This means a lot to me." You sit back in those moments and just relish it. The thought of being a good, caring, loving mom or dad. I remember a day, though, when our experience on Christmas morning was radically different than what I just described to you. There was one Christmas morning many, many moons ago when presents were torn into with incredible veracity. One present after the other. Paper flying as it was torn into, gift open, momentarily looked at, then set aside, and the next gift grabbed and tore into in the same way. There was hardly a pause between the gifts, let alone appreciation shown or expressed to us for it. There was a sick, empty feeling that was developing in the pit of my stomach as I watched this take place. As the last gift was opened, it was looked at, set aside, and then a diligent search immediately began. This cute little child began to dig through the branches and move ornaments in hopes of finding some loot stashed there, but all they found was disappointment. The search extended throughout the family room. Furniture was searched, things were moved, end tables shifted, and then the cushions of the sofa were lifted, diligently looking to see is there anything else. And then as they looked to us, with almost disbelief, they said, "Is that all there is?" Oh, that one question cut to the core of who I was. Immediately I started to feel my face flush and my stomach started to boil. Everything wanted to launch into this speech about what selfishness is and how we should be more giving. There was a flurry of words that rushed into my mind. Is that all there is? Did I hear you correctly? After everything you've received today, you have the audacity to say, "Is that all there is?" Do you not realize that there are children all over this world who never see many gifts in their lifetime, let alone on a single day? You thankless little creature. I have an idea. Why don't we just package all of these gifts back up and return them back to the store where we got them from? No. Better idea. Why don't we take these gifts and give them to a child who might appreciate them? In my mind, it felt good just to say those words and snap this child out of their selfishness. Thankfully, though, self-control ruled my heart that Christmas morning. Now, one of those words made it across the threshold of these lips and landed that devastating blow upon my young, impressionable child. However, that moment did mark, for Lynn and I, a time where we needed to seriously consider our approach to Christmas and the values that we wanted to develop in our young, growing family. We desperately wanted Christmas to grow as a meaningful season for our family, not just an occasion for selfishness to flourish. Although we love to give, we didn't want our focus to be upon what they receive. Although we loved the activity and busyness of the season, we didn't want our focus and priorities to be blurred by all the hustle and bustle. And although we think Christmas specials on TV are rather cute, well, we didn't want to lose the essence and reason why we celebrate Christmas in the first place either. Rather than leave any of this to chance, especially in light of what we just experienced, we decided to be intentional with how we approached Christmas and promote the values we wanted our children to learn and hopefully grow into. Our hope was that this would change our family, but also future generations as our children mature, marry, and have families of their own. The first thing we did was sit down and determine in advance what values we wanted to cultivate within our family, especially at the Christmas season. Secondly, we had to consistently act in a way that reflected the values that we're talking about. I mean, it's one thing to talk about values, and it's quite another to live them out. And lastly, we began to really watch for opportunities to generously lavish praise and appreciation upon our children when they demonstrated the values we were cultivating within our family. Those three simple things. Realize I said simple, not necessarily easy, but those three simple things really did begin to make a change in our Christmas. It changed our perspective, how we approach gifts, giving and receiving. It changed our perspective on time and how we steward that time. It even changed our perspective on money and purchasing and those things that really have value. I'm happy to say today that on Christmas morning there's so much more than just giving and receiving. There's an emphasis on thankfulness, a reflection on the time that we have spent and we have been given. I know that there has been a huge difference made within our family. And I want to challenge you this Christmas season to reflect upon the values that you are encouraging your children to show with their lives. Everything we do communicates. I'm interested. What do you value during the Christmas season? And how do you communicate that to your children?